All right, here we go with minor scales. Minor key signatures, as you remember, are the same as major key signatures, but instead of finding do, you will find la, and that is really going to come into play as we talk about these. So if you look over here at my notes page, I've added some things about minor scales, and the basis of minor scales is that they are the same as major, but they start on the sixth note, or la in solfege terms. So what I did here was I wrote out the tetrachords and how they get split. So notice here that hopefully you understood that note 1 in a major scale was also the same note as 8, just an octave apart. In a minor key signature, the sixth note, the first and last one here, are the same note. So when I split up that tetrachord over here in red, I take the jump from the sixth note and I just start down here. So here's 6, 7, 8, and then 1 share. So you still have that same tetrachord in there with those whole steps, but it's kind of split up. So this is more complicated really than it needs to be. And so I'm going to talk about key signatures with minor scales instead of thinking in those tetrachords, because it's not as easy as it is in major. So there are actually 3 different kinds of minor scales that I'm going to talk about. There is a scale called a natural minor, and this is the most basic of the minor key signatures. There's no change, exact same notes. You don't have to add or change anything. You just start on la. So in the key of C, which I have up here, or in the key is the key of A minor. These notes right here, as written, is exactly a natural minor. Okay, so that's pretty easy. If we would change the key, whatever you've got, if you're in the key of E flat, you would start, a do is E flat, you would start E flat, D, and then on C, and you would just write in the notes with the key of E flat with 3 flats, but you would start it on a C. So when we add a harmonic minor, that's when we start to change things. So with a harmonic minor, we're going to raise the 7th member of the scale by a half step. Okay, so let's go ahead and go over here and do that. So we're going to find our 7th member, second to last, and raise it by half step. So if it's natural, you'd put a sharp on it. If it was flat from the key signature, that means you would just put a natural on it, and you would cancel out the flat. That raises it by 1/2 step. So now here is our harmonic minor scale. So that note at the top creates a it mimics the T and do in a normal key signature. So if you think about starting on an A, if you think about the key for A, the key of A has 3 sharps. It has F sharp, C sharp, and G sharp. And right here, this mimics the T and do in the key of A. Just so we're in the key of A minor, and there's no sharps or flats, but we're adding a sharp up here on the G sharp. So here it is again. So that is the harmonic minor, raising a 7th scale degree by 1/2 step. Okay, a melodic minor, moving on to the next one, you're going to raise the 6th and 7th members of the scale by 1/2 step. So we're also going to go to the 6th member of the scale and raise that. This mimics the la, ti, and do of a major scale. So here's what a melodic minor sounds like. Now, when I was taught to do these scales, I was taught to go back to the natural minor on the way down. I actually am not sure, and I didn't really look that up, but when you practice your scales in pianos, you do melodic minor up and the natural minor down. So here's what that sounds like. So for those first 5 notes, it really does sound like a minor scale. But then once you add the melodic, it all of a sudden goes to a major sound, but then, as I mentioned, coming back down to the natural minor. All right, so the reasons that these occur are for chord progressions in songs with minor keys. So with these raised members, with these extra notes in there, extra chords are attainable. For example, if I'm in the key of A, my most basic, or A minor, my most basic chords are going to be built on the 1st member of the scale, the 4th, and the 5th most of the time. So if I play a if I play a note or a song just in the key of A major, that's what that would sound like. If I'd convert that to minor, I'm going to be able to use different chords for that fourth and for the 4 chord and the 5 chord, or like the fa chord and the so chord. In this case, though, it would be the re chord and the mi chord in minor terms. But I'm able to change those. So I have a normal A minor, and then I can have an E major in there. Sorry, we'll play that again. A minor, E major, A minor, or a La chord, a Mi chord, and then back to that one. And I can also raise the 6th member of the scale degree, which would add that F sharp. So that major E chord has a G sharp in it, that one right there. Okay, but the normal minor progression for A minor, we have an A, and then a D minor, and then E minor, and A minor. If I add the G sharp into the E chord, I'm going to add that up there. It's going to sound a lot stronger, like it's more finished than that song was. So here's an A minor, D minor, E major, A minor. So that sounds like it's much more like finished, like you can go home at the end of that song. So that is the reason why we have those extra scale degrees, is as we're making melodies, as we're making chords, we can add those in to create stronger endings, slightly different nuances, and all of those kinds of things. So probably should have had this open already, musictheory.net. And I will pull up how we can work on those. So again, scale construction. And if we head over here to our scales, we can add in the natural minor, harmonic minor, melodic minor. I'm going to take out major for now so we can go through a couple of these. Range is fine, key signatures, I'll add in some extra ones. And let's do grand staff. Alright, so we need an F sharp melodic minor. So remember, for melodic minor, we're going to raise the 6th and 7th members of those scales. So first of all, though, we need to make sure and construct our entire thing in a natural minor first. So F sharp melodic minor. F sharp, if you imagine La. So F sharp, G sharp, A. That's how we find out the key. That's how I figure out the key signature. So the key of A has 3 sharps. It has an F sharp, which is already there. It has a C sharp, so I'm going to go to the C and raise that. And it has a G sharp, so I'm going to find the G and raise that. Now we can start constructing our melodic minor. Okay, so here on screen I have the natural minor. Melodic minor raises the 6th and 7th, so that's pretty easy. Just go over to the 6th, sharp it. Next one, sharp it, and I hope this is right. It is. Okay, next one, C harmonic minor. The key of C minor, you have to work your way up to Do. So we have C, whole step to D, half step to E flat. So the key of E flat has 3 flats. We start out with a B flat, and then an E flat, and then an A flat. And now harmonic minor means we raise the 7th scale degree. So here is where we have a flat on this 7th member of the scale, and we actually need to make it a natural, which means none. And so now we have the harmonic minor. Come here, headphones. I don't know if you will be able to hear this, but here we go. There's a harmonic minor. B natural minor. Let's just do one more and call it good. The key of B minor. So we have B in La. We have to work up whole step, B to C sharp to D. So we're in the key of D, and it has 2 sharps, and the order goes fat, cats. So here we have a natural minor scale right off the bat, just in the key signature of B minor, as well as D major. And so this should be our correct answer for natural minor. There you go. All right, take some time, practice that. Let me know if you have further questions. Hopefully that was clear for you. Thanks.